Macintosh, becoming comfortable with uncomfortable. Maureen Macintosh, becoming comfortable with uncomfortable.
There she was, shaking like a leaf, fighting with her co-presenter over the spot behind the lectern, both knees knocking, thinking, what am I doing here? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. That was me, almost 20 years ago. I found a job, a day job, 9 to 5. Yes, I'm going to help women become pregnant. No, you're going to work with youth and prevent teenage pregnancy. And then it happened. The district medical health officer targeted us. He came into the center. Girls, I've got your first speech. What? Understand, I was so shy. I didn't even ask a single question in my degree program at the University of Moncton. Now I'm going to speak in public, and on top of it, I'm going to talk about sex. What have I gotten myself into? We did that speech that night to 60 parents. We pushed ourselves through the uncomfortableness. At the end of the speech, 60 parents swarmed us. They were just so thankful that somebody would talk about such a controversial subject with such what they perceived as ease. But how did we do that? Preparation, preparation, preparation. Practice, practice, and practice. And from that night, we went on and spoke 110 times that first year. And then we spoke 99 times the second year. That was in 1985. In 1992, a new Toastmasters club landed at the Moncton Hospital. We got word about that because a few of the nurses that were in that club at the hospital, hey Maureen, we think you should come to Toastmasters. What is Toastmasters? I always thought it was a bunch of men sitting around the table with black suits and white shirts and ties, very formal. No, we're starting a club at the hospital, you've got to come. Away I went to Toastmasters. The reason they wanted us there was because every speech we gave sounded something like this. As parents, it's your responsibility to be the ones to be the sex educator of your children, okay? And it's up to you as they get older to make sure that you have the knowledge and you know how to get them help, okay? They knew something we didn't know. We didn't know what we sounded like. When we got in Toastmasters that year, I learned a bundle. I learned about all the different roles that there are in Toastmasters. And it took me the entire year just to complete 3 speeches. And by then I had already been speaking publicly for 7 years. But it took me a whole year just to complete 3 speeches from the manual. I was shy, I was nervous, I was scared, but I pushed myself through it. I stopped saying okay. I stopped for the most part, most of the ums and ahs. Then the club folded. And on I went to speak for another, 1992 to 2005? 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, something like that. Then I meet my friend Greta. I said, what are you doing these days, Greta? Oh, she said, I'm going to Riverview Canoes to Toastmasters just down there at Sobeys. really, that's something I always intended to do, but didn't get around to going back. So in 2005, I came back to this club. And in this club, this is when I really started to stretch and grow. Now, mind you, I was just like the student fresh out of university. I knew a lot, right? I'd been speaking a long time. So by now, I had a little bit of Toastmasters and a lot of speaking. And I knew a lot. Wrong. So much to learn. So much to gain from being a part of this club. I finished my competent communicator. The best part was, I joined in 1992. I had a lifetime membership. So it was easy to come back. I completed my competent communicator, and I went on and I did more designations. And then I started to learn about leadership, and I got into the leadership manual. And I started to get competent at some leadership roles. That has led to opportunities outside of the club as well. I learned how to set up the structure of the speech. I was really good at storytelling and being personable and connecting with the audience. Those were strengths that I came into Toastmasters with. But structure? What was that? Until I decided to suck it up and say, Joe, would you coach me? And Joe coached me through the humorous speech contest, which I took all the way to District 45 finals. I learned a lot about structure. And I gave that little speech about my life with Dell all over Moncton. I went on through Toastmasters, learned recently in the last year from the Golden Gavel experience. Well, actually 3 years ago, Marcus Buckingham received the Golden Gavel. And at that time, I was doing his Strength Finder book, Now Discover Your Strengths. So I was excited about that. I knew this guy, kinda. He was a mentor. He didn't know it, but he was a mentor. Then last year, John Maxwell gets the Golden Gavel Award. He does a 2-hour presentation for Toastmasters. Guess what? I'm now a John Maxwell certified coach, trainer, and speaker. And I heard about it through Toastmasters. There is so much to gain for a few dollars a year by being a member of Toastmasters International. Mr. President.